Shalom Yasharala, Shalom. Brakatha Yahawah, Brakatha Yahawashi. Brakatha Yahawah, Brakatha Yahawashi. Brakatha Yahawah, Brakatha Yahawashi. Bahasham, Rakah Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, teach you and rule well, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akim, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth at risk of their own lives throughout the four corners of the earth. And to the Akwith listening and learning, Shalom. It's your brother Shema from the Pillars of Benjamin Camp here in Toronto with another lesson. And through the spirit and power of Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, the title of this lesson will come, but we'll get right into it. It's based on this article. I'll leave the link in my description box. But it's an article that came out from Silver Report on cut.com, right? And I'm not going to play it, right? I'm not trying to get a copyright strike, right? But some precepts came to mind because these halves of society in NYC, right? These luxury apartment owners, right? The wealthy, right? They're leaving America. They're leaving New York State in mass, New York County, New York City in mass, right? By the droves, and they're leaving at a loss because they're not able to sell their units, their apartments, and they're not able to rent it out. And when they are able to sell it, it's at a deep super loss, right? But precept came to mind, man, right? Zephaniah 1, right? Just here to edify the sheep, feed the lambs. You see me? But Zephaniah chapter 1, get this precept, man. Right? And the wealthy, the Most High Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi is breaking down America the Great, Babylon the Great, piece by piece, man. Right? And this is a precept from Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 10. And this applies to the Israelites, Judah in particular, right? This was a judgment against Judah, right? But it says in Deuteronomy 30 verse 7, the Most High shall put these. Matter of fact, let's get it. So when we see these judgments and these curses played out in the scriptures, right? Even if it applied to Judah, right? Right? Or Israel, the northern kingdom, Jerusalem, right? It applies today, right? Deuteronomy 30 verse 7. And Yahawah thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, right? Thine enemies. So all the curses written about in the scriptures is now turning upon our enemies, right? Ezekiel chapter 2. Let's get another precept. Ezekiel chapter 2 verse 9. And when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, look, a roll of a book was therein, right? So this angel was giving Ezekiel scriptures, right? And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without, right? And this is what was written in the scriptures. And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe, right? So the scriptures not nice in these scriptures, man. It's all lamentations, mourning, and woe, right? So we know that the curses that have befallen the children of Israel, the Israelites, Israel being a people before a place, the so-called indigenous, the so-called Latino, the so-called Negro, right? We know that these curses are going to fall on our enemy. Deuteronomy 30 verse 7 once again. And Yahawah thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee, right? Our enemies. And upon them that hate thee, hate the Israelites, right? Chief number one enemy, Esau Edom, right? The ruling class elites, Idumea, right? The so-called white man, right? Zephaniah 1, back to that scripture. So this was a judgment on Judah, and it applies now. Zephaniah 1, we'll go back to that. And this was the precept that came to mind when I was listening to this article. Right? I'll leave the article in the description box. Zephaniah 1 verse 10. And it reads, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahawah, that there shall be a noise, Salak, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, right? A noise, right? A noise of what? Lamenting, right? From the of a cry from the fish gate, right? The fish gate, the food chain, the supply chain, agriculture, right? Right? The supply chain right now in Babylon the Great, America the Great, is broken, man. Everything's just propped up right now. Falsely propped up. Right? There shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howl, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Right? And America the Great, their banking systems, it's folding. It's folding like it's folding. It's done. It's falsely propped up right now. Fiat currency is being printed hand over fist. Right? So the crashing from the hills is the stock market, the banking system, right? They're looking to usher in this. They want to go digital. The ruling class elites want to go digital, right? Right? The RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, pursuant to Revelation chapter 13, right? That's where these elites want to go, right? So they got to crash it, right? How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, right? And Maktesh was a ancient borough, right? Like how modern day boroughs in cities and stuff, a borough in Jerusalem, right? How ye in a city of trade, right? How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down. The merchants, right? It's all cut off, man. It's all falsely being propped up. Job loss at an all-time high. Look, these wealthy are fleeing and taking a loss. Right? How much more before foreclosure hits them if they can't pay their mortgages, right? And that's what's coming in mass, right? How ye inhabitants, Zephaniah 1 verse 11 once again. How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down. All they that bear silver are cut off, right? All they that bear silver. All they that have the money, they're cut off, right? They can't make ends meet. Right? Let's close out with Isaiah 28. Just wanted to touch on it, you know what I mean? And this is across the board, man. The city of confusion is broken. Isaiah 24 verse 10. The city of confusion is broken down, right? Confusion in the Hebrew is Babal, right? America the Great is the great melting pot, right? All nations are in America the Great, Babylon the Great. So confusion, right? All abominations take place in America the Great, Babylon the Great. Confusion. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in, right? Retail shut down for lease signs, right? The owners of these luxury apartments and condos can't rent them, can't sell them, right? Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets, right? Wine in the streets, a crying for knowledge, crying for what's going on, and there's no answers. All joy is darkened, right? It looks bleak. It doesn't look good. Future doesn't look bright. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. The mirth, the happiness, the joy, it's gone, man. Right? Inner cities, Esau, Edom's clamping down with these rules. Right? Shelter in place is worldwide right now. Where I'm at right now, I think they just raised it. I think they just lifted it in certain boroughs where you can go out again. But nah, man, Esau, he's coming down with the hammer, and right now he's trying to be nice about it. But just now he's gonna get wicked and force, right? But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. I pray you're edified. I don't want Rataza. Kwam Yasharala. Wa Abad Baba.